Hello YouTube viewers, hope you're all doing good and welcome to this video. This video is about using Web API to access CheckMK instance. This video is part of the CheckMK monitoring series. So if this is your first time watching this video, I would recommend you to watch my previous videos where I talked about CheckMK introduction, CheckMK installation, creating sites, adding clients to monitoring, and few other videos. Okay, so once again, welcome to this video, and what I'll be doing in this video is to show you how to automate some of the tasks. I'll just give you some directions and you can take it from there. So you don't have to log into the CheckMK server. The ideal use case would be, so I've got a CheckMK server. For example, I've already, from my previous video, I've got a site running already. So this is Ubuntu 18.04 virtual machine. I've got OMD installed and I've got a site created called monitoring sudo OMD sites. So there's a site called monitoring sudo OMD status monitoring. It's running, and if I access that, Ubuntu VM01, so that's where it's running. And the site name is monitoring. CMK admin, I've changed the password to CMK admin. Okay, so we are in here. Um, okay, so whenever you're adding a new machine or in a corporate environment, in a real world situation, you'll be adding tens of hundreds of machines. And whenever you add those machines, you won't normally log into the dashboard and add individual machines. So I did a video on um, explaining how to add a machine to the monitoring. So you would go here to the hosts tab, create a new host, or if you want, you can create a new folder and create a new host. You'll fill in all these details, click finish, and then you go to the host and then you do a service discovery to find out what services are all available on a host, and then you add that host, apply changes, activate affected, and so on. So you don't have to do that for every single host. um, I'm not sure whether I explained you about the bulk import in that video, but bulk import is a concept where you can once you install the CheckMK agent on all your clients, you can do that as part of your installation. For example, you can have a kickstart file that installs the OS, and at the end of it, the post installation, you can install CheckMK agent. And once we have the CheckMK agent running on all the clients, um, if you know the server's name and IP address, you can create a CSV file, one per line, one machine per line. So you can add like 100 lines of machine names with IP address, and you can upload that file here, and you can upload it. So you can do a bulk discovery, bulk import, and so on. So anyway, you have to come into the dashboard to do that. But pure automation, you can script it. You can script it using Python. There's a Python module for CheckMK, which I'm going to show you in a minute. How to download that module, how to run basic commands, uh, and I'll also show you how to install, how to add a new client, how to create a new folder, how to do a service discovery. Um, Although you can't do every single thing that you do from your web interface, but majority of the tasks that are most used can be done using Web API. Okay, so let's get started. So there is hosts here. I'll go back to my terminal. What I need to do is, okay, so one other thing. While we do that thing, let's start the other machines. Vagrant up Ubuntu VM02. So I'm bringing up another machine. So I'm going to use this machine as a client machine. I'm going to install CheckMK agent on this machine, and I'll use a web API to add this machine to the monitoring. Okay. So on my host machine, you need to have Python pip installed. So I've got Python pip installed, and using pip, you can install the checkmk web API module. So I've got that installed already. So that's the command to install it. I've installed that already. And I'm going to use IPython to show you, instead of writing a Python program, it's an interactive Python shell. IPython, and the first command is import checkmk web API. Okay, so since we have installed the checkmk web API Python module, the import command ran successfully without any problem. Um, okay, so the next thing is to initialize an object. Let's call it API equals, I've got that documented here, checkmk web. Okay, so that's the one. We are initializing an web API object. So checkmk web API dot web API. The first one is the command name, the host name, which has to be in a specific format. I'll find out where you can find that information, and you have to pass the username and secret. For this, you have to create a service account in your checkmk. But in our checkmk, there is a user, automation user, already created by default whenever you install the checkmk. Okay. So if I go to users, you can see this user here, automation. So that user got created by default. So we can use that user. That's a kind of service account that we could use. If I just click on that user, okay, edit. And the secret is here, automation secret for machine accounts. I'm going to copy that secret, Control C, and the username is automation. Username is automation, and the secret is that one there. So we need to give the URL of a Python script in our checkmk installation. For that, I'm going to refer the official documentation, checkmk web API command reference. That's not the one. Web API checkmk. There will be a link. I think it's this one here. It should be this one. Okay. Checkmk web API.py. Okay, so our URL will be http ubuntu vm01.example.com slash site name, which is monitoring, and then web API dot py. Okay, so that's cool. It's initialized. Now let's see what functions we've got. API dot delete, API dot edit. Okay, let's look at get. API dot get all hosts. HTTP error 401 unauthorized. Why is it so? Okay, I don't think I did it the right way. Username web API ubuntu vm01.example.com. That seems to be correct. Monitoring checkmk. I think I missed checkmk. Checkmk dash web API.py. API.get all hosts. Okay, cool. So that's worked. So that's the URL. Whatever your site is, followed by checkmk and then web API.py. The username is automation. Secret, you can find that from the dashboard. API.get all hosts. Since we don't have any hosts at the moment, it's returning an empty set. If you want to see some help documentation, you can do help API.get all hosts. Get all hosts. It doesn't accept any parameters. Okay, so what else? Let's do. Okay, back in the virtual machine, I'm going to log into Vagrant SSH Ubuntu VMO2 wget. Let's download the checkmk agent from our server. Under the water configuration, monitoring agents, checkmk Debian package, copy the link address, paste it here, sudo apt-get update, and sudo apt-get install gdebi core, because we're going to use the gdebi to install the checkmk agent, and we also need the zinetd. Right, now let's install the checkmk agent. Sudo gdebi checkmk agent. Yes, cool, and that should be running. Sudo netstat -nltp, so 6556. If you've got firewall enabled on your machine, don't forget to open the port 6556. Cool, and back in the dashboard under hosts, we haven't added any hosts yet, so now let's try and add this host from the Python script using the web API. api.add host. Yep, we do have add host. If I look the help documentation for it, so the host name, and if you've got any folder where to add the machine to, and if you've got the IP address, basically I've got name resolution set up. If you don't have name resolution, for example, the checkmk server is running on Ubuntu VMO1 and the client is Ubuntu VMO2. If the checkmk server can't resolve the host name, you also need to specify the IP address. So since I've got the name resolution working, etc hosts, I've added all the virtual machines to the etc host file of all the virtual machines, so I don't have to worry about the name resolution. Okay, so the only thing that's needed, if you want to add host tags to it, you can add it here, but I'm going to keep it simple by having just the machine name as the option. api.add host Ubuntu VMO2. Looks like it's added. api.get all hosts. Okay, now we can see Ubuntu VMO2. So we've added the host, but we haven't done a service discovery. So we need to have a service discovery, but I'll show you what has happened just now. Okay, if I click on host, and there you go, you've got the hosts there, Ubuntu VMO2. We didn't log into the dashboard, we just used the web API Python script to add this host to monitoring. And you can see one change here. You don't have to apply the change here. You can do that from the using the web API as well. But before that, we need to do a service discovery on this host. Let's do that. API discover services. You can discover services for all hosts or for a specific host. Ubuntu VMO2. Okay, so it says it has added 16 services. It has found 16 and it has added 16 services. Now let's go back and click on hosts. You can see there are two changes. Let's click on the changes. The first thing is it has added the host Ubuntu VMO2. The second change is it has added 16 services. So now instead of clicking the activate affected here, let's do it from the command using web API. api.activate changes. Okay, so that's done. The status text. So that's what we need to check. It returned success. So that should be it. And if I click on host, you won't see any more changes because we've applied the changes. We added the host, we did a service discovery, and we activated the changes. So that's all done through the web API using a Python script. And if I go in here, you can see 18 services, 18. Um, all of them are okay, but they're not actually okay. They are in the pending state, I guess. Yep, all the 18 services are in the pending state. In a short while, this should change to okay or warning and so on. Um, okay, so the other thing I'm going to do now is let's go to hosts, and I'm going to create a folder, for example, um, api.add folder Linux servers. Okay, api.activate changes. So I just created a new folder. Let's see if that appears here. Yep, we've created a new folder called Linux servers. Let's try and delete this host that we just added. api.delete host Ubuntu VM02, or you can just do Ubuntu delete all hosts. api.activate changes. Okay, that's done. Hosts, and the host is gone. We are only left with a single folder. The idea is just to show you if we can create a new host, add a new host into a specific folder. Let's try and do that. api.add host, and first option is the host name Ubuntu VM02, and then folder equals Linux servers. I'm not sure whether we need to pass the backslash or not. Nope. Please specify a name. Okay. Back in here, if I do host, yep, one host. And if I click in there, we've got that one here. And as usual, you do API discover services Ubuntu VM02. 16 added api.activate changes. Okay, hosts, all in good shape. We've got one host, and there we've got this host here, and there are 18 services. Sorry, 16 services. I don't know why I keep saying 18. Okay, there are lots of things you could do. If you type in API dot, if you happen to use IPython, you can have the tab completion API dot. So these are all the list of commands that you can use. API dot get folders, host groups, hosts, users, rule sets, API dot get site. Lots of things. Let's try a few different things. API dot get site. I don't know if it needs a name. Yep, it needs a name. Um, alias local site monitoring, api.get folders, Linux servers, api.get all folders, I think. Get all folders. So we only got one folder Linux service. Okay, so that's it. That's basically how you use a web API to modify changes. Whatever you want to do on the web interface, you can do it. Bear in mind, you can't do 100% everything. Um, what you can do in the web interface, you won't be able to do entirely everything using the web API. But there are web API commands for most of the majority of the tasks that you want to do on a day-to-day basis. So it should help you as a sysadmin uh, or an IT guy. You would love this because you could put the script at the end of the installation process. If you do an automated installation, I don't know what you follow, but whatever process you follow for automated installation, you can bootstrap at the end, install the checkmk agent, and you can have a Python script that adds the node itself to the monitoring server, checkmk server. You don't have to manually add each of your hundreds of clients to the checkmk server. So you put everything in the installation script or somewhere, and then once the installation completes on the machine, it adds itself back to the checkmk server. So that's the idea. Okay, that's it for this video, and thank you so much for your time watching this video. If you liked it, please share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. If you've got any questions or comments or any cool ideas about this API, how in a different way you can use it, what all the different scenarios, just share it with me, and I'll be grateful to know about it. And that's it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.